The galaxy had always been confident in its judgment. For thousands of cycles, the Council of Stars had overseen countless civilizations, ranking them from the mighty to the insignificant. Among the countless worlds, humans had always been a curiosity, small, fragile, and chaotic. At least that's what the galaxy's brightest minds thought. On the polished platform of the Galactic Council Chamber, representatives of the most advanced species gathered. Towering insectoids, sleek energy beings, and armored reptilian generals filled the room. All eyes were on the hollow display above the dais. The screen flickered, showing live feeds of human activity on Earth. This species is the musing, Buzz Insectoid Counselor. Look at them. Primitive tools, no faster than light travel, and their weapons are laughable. They barely survive among themselves, let alone in real war. A ripple of laughter moved through the chamber. Holograms displayed humans running in crowded cities, fighting in small conflicts, and inventing makeshift machines. The energy beings shimmered with quiet disbelief. "Do you really think they matter?" One whispered. The chair of the council, a tall, silver-skinned being named Zalith, waved its 3 arms dismissively. "Let them be. We have bigger problems. Our fleets have more important targets than a minor, fragile planet in a backwater system. Humanity is irrelevant." Yet, even as the council laughed and moved on to the next item on their agenda, something stirred far below the surface on Earth. In a hidden base carved deep into the mountains, humans were not laughing. They were watching. They had long anticipated the galaxy's ignorance. And while the council wrote them off, the humans were quietly preparing. Captain Elena Voss paced across the dimly lit room. Screens flickered, showing coordinates of alien patrols and supply routes. Her crew, a mix of humans trained in survival, engineering, and combat, moved with precision. They did not panic. Panic was for those who relied on luck. Elena, a young officer named Jay, said, "The patrol is moving faster than usual. Are they expecting something?" Elena smiled faintly. "No, that's exactly why this will work. They never expect humans to act like we do. We use thinking, not just weapons. That is our edge." Outside, satellites tracked alien movements with uncanny precision. Every patrol, every fleet, every scout was logged, analyzed, and anticipated. Humans knew the galaxy had written them off. That arrogance was their greatest weapon. Meanwhile, back in the council chamber, debates continued. Some members argued for observation, but most agreed humanity was too weak to consider seriously. The reptilian general, Croth, sneered. "Even if they survive for another century, what can they do? Their planet is a single point. Destroy it and it's over." But the humans were already proving that point wrong, not by firepower, but by cunning. In the mountains, Elena gathered her team. "Listen up. Tonight, we begin the first phase. Our goal is simple: confusion. They expect brute force. We give them intelligence. One small strike, one precise move, and they'll think twice about writing us off again." The humans suited up, weapons gleaming under dim lights. But it wasn't weapons that would win tonight. It was strategy. They knew the alien patrols relied on patterns, on predictability. Humans would disrupt that. One calculated move, one unexpected strike. And the galaxy's perception of them could change forever. Hours passed. The humans moved silently, like shadows in the mountains. Every step was measured. The patrols above the planet were unaware of the invisible force below. Elena activated the comm, positions locked. "Remember, slow, steady, precise. We hit hard, but we leave no trace. They won't know what hit them, at least not yet." The first human operative crept into position near an alien supply drop. With minimal effort, he disabled communication relays, causing panic in the patrols. Lights flickered in the alien ships above. Sensors went haywire. Meanwhile, another team infiltrated a landing zone. They left subtle signs of human presence, just enough to confuse alien intelligence, but not enough to reveal the true scale of human capability. The aliens were puzzled. Back in the council chamber, reports began to trickle in. "A patrol is missing," said an aide nervously. "No debris, no distress signals, nothing." Zalith frowned. "Impossible. They must be hiding. Keep searching." But the humans had no intention of being found. Every move was deliberate, every strike calculated. By dawn, the patrols had retreated. Alien commanders were baffled, unsure whether this was a tactical strike or some freak accident. Elena and her team returned to base. No one celebrated. Victory was quiet. Survival was quiet. But inside, a spark had begun. Humans had shown the first sign of what they could do. Not with numbers, not with sheer power, but with mind and courage. That night, as the humans rested, the council received more reports. Casualty numbers were confusing, inconsistent, and disturbing. One small human team had caused more disruption than entire fleets of alien forces in a single day. "This cannot be happening," whispered Croft, his confidence shaken for the first time. But the humans were not done. This was only the beginning. The galaxy had written them off, but humans had something the council did not understand. Unpredictability. Where aliens expected fear, humans offered courage. Where aliens expected chaos, humans offered strategy. And somewhere in the dark corners of the council chamber, a quiet thought took root. Maybe this species was not as weak as they seemed. Maybe the humans were something else entirely. Meanwhile, Elena looked out from the base window at the rising sun. The mountains glowed orange. Below them, the world seemed peaceful, unaware of the ripples humans were creating in the galaxy. "Phase 2 begins tomorrow," she said softly. Her eyes were sharp, filled with determination. "We'll show them what they've ignored for too long." And so, the first turning point came, not with explosions, not with massive fleets, but with a small, precise, calculated action that would begin to change the galaxy's perception forever. The council still laughed, still underestimated, still believed humans were irrelevant. But humans had a secret advantage, the galaxy's arrogance. And as the stars watched, invisible, unknown, the humans prepared to take the next step. In the silence of the mountains, in the hearts of the humans, one truth had become clear. The galaxy had written them off, but that would soon change. The darkness of space was quiet, but it carried tension. Alien patrols moved in precise formations, confident in their superiority. They had never expected resistance from a planet they considered primitive. Yet, far below in hidden bases and silent orbiting stations, humans watched, calculated, and prepared. Captain Elena Voss leaned over a holographic map in the command room of the stealth ship Raven's Eye. Her crew, trained in both combat and observation, followed her every move with silent precision. The alien patrol was on schedule, predictable as always. "Report," Elena said. Her voice was calm, steady, but carried the weight of authority. Officer Jace tapped on a console. "Patrol Alpha 7 approaching. They are moving faster than predicted. They'll reach the outer mining colonies in 30 minutes. Sensors show no changes in their formation, standard protocol. They're confident." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Good. Confidence makes them predictable. That's our advantage. Remember, we do not need to destroy them. Confusion is enough." The humans had learned that aliens relied on technology, on perfect timing, on structure. Humans relied on unpredictability, on thinking 2 steps ahead, and exploiting what aliens could not see coming. Tonight, humans would show their first real demonstration of that principle. Far below, on the mining colonies of Varys 9, humans had prepared traps. Not explosives, not massive weapons, small, precise devices that disrupted alien sensors and communications. Each device was connected to a network, invisible and silent, designed to make the aliens doubt their own technology. In the control room of the colony, Lieutenant Marachin watched the approaching ships on a holographic display. "All systems ready," she said. "Once they reach the perimeter, we activate the devices." Elena nodded. "Timing is everything. Remember, our goal is to confuse them, not to fight them head-on. Let them believe they're in control, then take that control away." Minutes passed. The first alien scouts approached the colony's outer perimeter. They were sleek, heavily armored, and moving with mechanical precision. From the outside, they seemed invincible. But humans had learned long ago, perception was more dangerous than power. The first device activated. Alien sensors began to flicker, reporting ghost readings of ships that didn't exist. Lights blinked erratically in the patrol ships. Confusion spread. "Captain, they're noticing anomalies," Jay said, a hint of excitement in his voice. Elena smiled faintly. "Let them notice. Let them think it's a malfunction. Keep it subtle. One wrong move, and we reveal too much." The alien patrols adjusted, trying to compensate. They scanned for threats. Every time they thought they had located the human forces, the signals vanished. It was like chasing shadows in the void of space. On the surface, small human strike teams moved silently among the mining colony's caverns. They were armed not with massive weapons, but with precision disruptors, EMP devices, and clever mechanical traps. One by one, alien landing shuttles attempting to dock or investigate were subtly sabotaged. Communication relays failed. Engines stuttered. Ships spun uncontrollably before regaining control. In the command ship of the alien patrol, Commander Zark roared in frustration. "What is happening? Sensors are failing. Systems are malfunctioning." No signs of sabotage detected. An aide replied nervously. It must be a natural phenomenon." Zark's armored claws tightened. He had never felt this before. He had fought countless species and crushed them, but the humans were not like any species he had faced. They were invisible, unpredictable, and somehow smarter than they should be. Back in orbit, Elena watched silently. "They think it's natural," she whispered. "They have no idea we are here." "Good. Keep it that way." One human team on the surface had a more daring plan. They would capture a shuttle intact to study alien technology, learning for future encounters. Lieutenant Marachin led the team through tunnels and service shafts beneath the landing platform. Timing, precision, and silence were everything. One false step, and the patrol would notice. The humans reached the shuttle undetected. Mara glanced at her team. "Remember, speed and efficiency. Get in, get the data, get out." They entered the shuttle and activated an override device. In seconds, alien systems flickered under human control. The shuttle lifted quietly, guided not by alien hands but by human strategy. When the patrol noticed, it was too late. The shuttle had vanished into the vastness of space. Commander Zark's frustration grew. "Impossible. They have taken one of our ships." "Where are they?" Elena allowed herself a small smile. She had not lost a single life. They had not fired a single human weapon directly. Yet, the patrol was in chaos. Meanwhile, deep in the galaxy, the Council of Stars received fragmented reports. Small patrols were failing. Ships went missing. Sensors malfunctioned. Casualties were rising without explanation. "This is troubling," Zalith murmured. "Humans, they are acting." But no one yet understood how. The humans were shadows, ghosts moving with intelligence beyond expectation. They exploited weaknesses in alien assumptions. They were invisible until it was too late. On the mining colony, the human strike teams regrouped. Elena's voice came over comms. "Phase 1 complete. No direct engagement. They are confused. That is our advantage. Prepare for extraction. We leave no trace of our presence." The teams vanished into tunnels, leaving the aliens bewildered. Every sensor reading, every patrol log would confuse them further. Nothing could trace the humans' precise movements. But humans were not done. Elena knew this encounter was only the beginning. Every misstep by the aliens would teach them a lesson. Humans were not to be dismissed. As the Ravens navigated through the shadows of asteroids, Elena looked at her crew. Today they learned something. Maybe they won't admit it yet, but humans are not easy prey. This is the first encounter. They will remember it, even if they do not know why. One crew member, Theo, grinned. They won't see the next one coming. "Exactly," Elena said, "and that is the point." Back on Earth, the Council of Stars' laughter had faded. Reports of missing patrols, system failures, and unexplained retreats began to circulate. Some council members whispered. Some panicked. They could not understand how a species they considered weak could inflict such chaos without traditional weapons. Zark returned to his ship, furious but thoughtful. He realized humans were unlike any opponent he had ever faced. They were small, fragile, and underestimated, but dangerously clever. "We underestimated them," he growled. "And that mistake will cost us dearly." Elena did not gloat. She knew that pride was dangerous. Humans had only taken the first step. The galaxy thought them insignificant. That arrogance was their greatest weapon. Hours later, the humans gathered in the orbital station above Varys 9. Elena addressed her team. Today, we showed the galaxy the first sign of our ability. They believe we are weak. They think we are small. They are wrong. Phase 2 begins soon. And next time, they will not escape unscathed. The crew nodded, silent but resolute. Each of them understood the stakes. The galaxy had written off humans, but humans had already begun to change that perception. Somewhere far away, in the council chamber, Zalis stared at a flickering report. Something is happening, it said quietly. Something unexpected. Keep monitoring. The humans had no idea how much chaos their first encounter had caused. But one thing was certain. The galaxy would never see them the same way again. The first encounter had ended, but it was only the beginning of a war the aliens had never expected, fought with brains, courage, and an unyielding spirit. Elena looked out at the stars from the observation deck of the Raven's Eye. The darkness of space stretched infinitely. Among those stars, alien fleets. Prepared, unaware that humans were already several moves ahead. Tomorrow, Elena whispered, we take the next step, and they won't know it until it's too late. The first encounter had shown humans could win without brute force. The unexpected turning point had arrived, and with it, the galaxy would slowly begin to understand that underestimating humans was the gravest mistake any species could make. The galaxy had always moved with confidence. Alien fleets, councils, and intelligence networks prided themselves on precision. But now, cracks had begun to appear. Small reports trickled in at first, minor anomalies, unexpected losses, missing patrols. Most were dismissed as technical glitches or anomalous incidents. But when the numbers became impossible to ignore, panic spread. In the high towers of the Galactic Council chamber, representatives gathered once more. This time, the atmosphere was different. The usual smug arrogance was replaced with unease. The hollow screens above flickered with casualty reports, ship losses, and incomplete logs from across multiple sectors. Zalith, the silver-skinned chair of the council, stared at the reports in silence. Its 3 arms tapped nervously on the dais. How? How can this be? It whispered, almost to itself. One of the aides, a nervous energy being named Silex, spoke up, Sir, the numbers don't match projections. Entire patrols have disappeared. Communication with multiple outposts is lost. The humans, they've done this, but we cannot locate them. A ripple of shocked murmurs spread through the chamber. The reptilian general, Croft, leaned forward, claws digging into the edge of the platform. Disappeared? How can a species with barely any interstellar capability do this? They are supposed to be primitive. That was the question haunting every corner of the galaxy. How could humans, a species without faster-than-light travel in sufficient numbers, cripple fleets and disrupt communications? Far away, in a shadowed orbital station above Earth, humans monitored the chaos they had created. Captain Elena Voss stood at the observation deck, calm and focused. Behind her, the command crew worked in silence, reviewing maps and tracking alien movements. Report, she said softly. Officer Jace glanced at the console. Casualty reports are coming in fast. They're panicking. Multiple patrols are retreating. Commanders are unsure what's happening. They don't know where we are or how many of us there are. Elena nodded. Good. Confusion is stronger than fear. Keep monitoring. The moment they start to organize, we adjust. Always one step ahead. Meanwhile, the council chamber erupted. Hollow screens displayed ships lost in mysterious attacks. Entire patrols vanished without debris. Supply convoys failed to reach destinations. Sensor anomalies were widespread. No one could explain the pattern, except that humans were somehow behind it. The insectoid counselor buzzed angrily. Impossible. One species so small, without fleets, and yet they strike everywhere. How can this happen? Silex tried to calm the chamber. We must consider the possibility that humans are not as weak as we believed. Their unpredictability may be their greatest weapon. Unpredictability? Croft growled. They are fragile, weak, and primitive. Nothing about them should allow this level of damage. There must be an explanation. But there was none. Humans did not follow logic the way the galaxy expected. Their actions were erratic, clever, and fearless. Where aliens relied on strength and numbers, humans relied on strategy and adaptability. And the galaxy was beginning to pay the price for underestimating them. Back on Earth, Elena convened a meeting with her commanders. The humans had achieved the impossible. They had created chaos without being seen, without a single large-scale battle. But Elena knew this was just the beginning. "Listen carefully," she said, eyes scanning her team. "They are beginning to notice that we exist. Their fear is growing. Their arrogance is breaking. That is our advantage. But we must remain careful. We cannot allow them to organize against us yet. Confusion first, pressure second, then precision." Lieutenant Marachin leaned forward. "Captain, reports show the alien fleets are trying to regroup. They're sending signals to each other, trying to coordinate." Elena's gaze hardened. "Let them. Every move they make will be predictable. Every reaction can be used. That is why we act unseen. They think they are safe. They are not." Across the galaxy, alien commanders struggled. Zarek, furious and desperate, convened his captains. "Explain yourselves," he roared. "How did a species without fleets, without resources, cause this level of destruction?" His captains exchanged uneasy glances. We don't know, Commander. They strike without warning. They vanish before we can respond. Entire patrols report malfunctions, misdirection, even sabotage. It's terrifying." "Terrifying?" Zarek bellowed. "We are supposed to be gods among the stars. And yet, these humans are ghosts. Ghosts moving among us, striking where we least expect." In orbit, humans prepared the next phase. Small strike teams were dispatched to key supply routes. They moved like shadows, silent and efficient, leaving behind more confusion. No one could trace them. No one could predict them. On the council chamber screens, another shock arrived. Reports from 3 separate systems showed humans had disrupted alien supply chains simultaneously. Fleets were grounded. Commanders were forced to make split-second decisions with incomplete information. Panic rippled through the council, growing louder with every lost fleet. Silex whispered to Zaleth, "Sir, the humans, they are not just clever. They are coordinated. And they are everywhere." Zaleth's eyes glimmered with fear. "Everywhere? Impossible. Their technology cannot support this." And yet, the reports do not lie. Croft slammed his claws on the platform. "We underestimated them. And now we face the consequences." Back on Earth, Elena observed the chaos with quiet satisfaction. They are learning. They are starting to fear us. That fear is our weapon now. But we must not waste it on arrogance. Move carefully. Strike precisely. One mistake, and they will retaliate with everything they have. And we are not ready for that yet. The humans continued their operations. Every patrol that ventured too close to inhabited human systems was subtly sabotaged. Alien supply convoys were delayed, rerouted, or mysteriously destroyed. Communications became unreliable. Aliens began to distrust each other, wondering if spies or saboteurs were among their own ranks. And yet, not a single human life was lost. Not because they were invincible, but because they were clever. Every action was calculated, every risk assessed. Humans did not fight for glory. They fought for survival and for the shock value of unpredictability. In the council chamber, the whispers grew louder. How is this possible?" One counselor asked. "They are weak. They cannot possibly strike with such precision." "They are not weak," Silex replied quietly. "They are different, and that difference is terrifying." Zarek, still reeling from the first encounters, realized something terrifying. This is no mere rebellion. This is strategy. They are learning faster than we can predict. Every move we make is anticipated. Every weakness we show, they exploit. Meanwhile, humans prepared their next maneuver. Elena gathered her commanders. "Tomorrow we escalate. We do not reveal our full strength, but we show them that humans are not just clever. They are unstoppable when united. The galaxy has written us off. That is our gift. They do not see us coming, and they never will until it is too late." The night stretched over Earth's hidden bases. Silence settled, but the galaxy, far above, was in chaos. Commanders argued. Reports clashed. No one could understand how a primitive species was crippling fleets and destabilizing systems. Elena stared at the stars. Her voice was calm, but fierce. Phase 3 begins soon, and this time they will know fear. The first reports had shocked the galaxy. The second encounter had proven humans could strike without being seen. And now, the casualty reports spread panic across the stars. The galaxy had underestimated humans at its peril. And in the quiet corners of the galaxy, somewhere beyond reach, humans smiled. They had no illusions of their power. They knew every encounter was a risk, but they had something no alien species could understand: courage, cunning, and unpredictability. The casualty reports would continue to arrive, each one a silent message. Humans existed. Humans were dangerous. And humans were finally being noticed. The galaxy had ignored them for too long. But after today, that ignorance could no longer continue. The humans had begun to rewrite the rules of survival and war. And the council would have to pay attention, because the species they wrote off as weak was proving to be something entirely different. The galaxy had begun to whisper. Reports of missing patrols, lost ships, and failed supply lines reached the council every hour. Panic was growing like a storm among alien fleets. They had underestimated humans once. But now, the humans were not just striking. They were planning something far greater. In the orbital station above Earth, Captain Elena Voss stood before the holographic map of the galaxy. Systems, fleets, and patrols blinked on the display. Lines showed supply routes, weak points, and patrol rotations. Elena's fingers traced a path across the map, moving deliberately, slowly, as it drew invisible threads that would tangle alien forces into chaos. "Today," she said, her voice calm but commanding, "we do more than confuse. Today we strike, not blindly, but with precision. Every move we make is calculated. Every risk is planned. They think we are weak. They think we are small. They are wrong. Very wrong." Her officers nodded, understanding the gravity of the moment. They had been preparing for this since the first patrols. Every human strike team had trained, observed, and learned. They were ready to turn the galaxy's arrogance into their weapon. In deep space, alien fleets move with rigid confidence. They still believe humans were minor pests, insignificant in the grand scheme. Ships gleamed in the void, weapons charged, shields active, yet none suspected the invisible hand guiding them toward disaster. Elena's plan was simple in concept, but dangerous in execution. Humans would strike simultaneously at multiple key points: supply convoys, command hubs, and communication relays, forcing the aliens to react, divide, and panic. The humans themselves would remain largely unseen, striking like shadows in the dark. The first wave moved. Human ships, small and unassuming, slipped past alien sensors using stealth technology and clever maneuvers. One by one, they reached their targets. Supply convoys were intercepted, rerouted, and disabled without direct confrontation. Communication nodes went offline, leaving fleets isolated and confused. Commander Zark of the alien patrols was the first to notice what is happening. Reports from multiple sectors indicate sabotage. Multiple convoys, multiple hubs, all compromised. His captains argued, but panic made strategy impossible. "We cannot locate the humans," one exclaimed. "They are ghosts." "They are not ghosts," Zark growled. "They are more dangerous than anything we have faced, and we underestimated them." Meanwhile, on a remote asteroid base, humans executed a daring move. Lieutenant Marachin led her team to capture a command relay. Unlike previous sabotage operations, this required precise timing and careful coordination. The relay was heavily guarded, but humans moved silently, blending into shadows, using terrain and exploiting the aliens' assumptions. In minutes, they had disabled the relay and replaced critical data with false information. Alien fleets, relying on the compromised data, received incorrect orders. Ships moved to the wrong coordinates. Patrols collided and confusion spread. Elena watched the results from the orbital station, her expression calm. They think they are in control, she said. Let them believe that. Every misstep they make strengthens our position. Humans strike teams and targeted alien command ships. Using stealth, speed, and careful planning, they bypassed the outer defenses and implanted minor, but critical disruptions. Engines malfunctioned, shields flickered, and internal communications jammed. The alien commanders, confident in their superiority, suddenly found themselves vulnerable in ways they had never imagined. Zarek, furious, tried to regain control. All units, focus on locating the humans. They cannot be everywhere at once. But that was exactly what humans wanted him to think. They had no intention of engaging directly with the main fleets yet. Their goal was not destruction, it was chaos. Confusion would weaken alien coordination, making future engagements far easier to control. Across multiple sectors, humans used decoys, false signals, and digital manipulation to mislead the aliens. One fleet received reports of a massive human strike in one sector, only to find it empty when they arrived. Meanwhile, real human forces struck in another location, completely unanticipated. In the council chamber, Zayleth stared at the incoming reports, disbelief etched across its face. How can this happen? They cannot be everywhere. They are, Silex whispered. They are clever, adaptable, and unpredictable. Their tactics, they are unlike anything we have faced. Every move we make, they anticipate or exploit, and yet we cannot find them. Croft, the reptilian general, slammed his claws on the platform. They are small. They should not be able to do this. They have no fleets, no weapons of mass destruction, and yet they strike and vanish, leaving us paralyzed. Back in orbit, Elena gathered her crew. This is our moment. We are not just defending. We are showing the galaxy what humans can do when underestimated. But remember, this is only phase 1 of the counterattack. Precision is key. Timing is everything. Do not waste resources. Do not take unnecessary risks. The humans moved again. Strike teams infiltrated secondary supply hubs, sabotaging engines, communication arrays, and transport routes. Aliens, desperate to regain order, split their forces across sectors. Each division made them weaker and more vulnerable. Humans exploited every weakness, using intelligence rather than brute force. On one alien flagship, panic spread like wildfire. They cannot be here, a captain shouted. How do they strike at multiple points at once? They must be everywhere. Zarek, staring at the blinking map, felt a cold dread. They are everywhere, and they are smarter than we expected. We must withdraw, regroup, and no, even that is uncertain. We cannot predict them. We cannot control them. The humans, meanwhile, had minimal casualties, not because they were invincible, but because they avoided unnecessary confrontation. Every move was calculated to maximize disruption while minimizing risk. They fought with brain, strategy, and speed. Every misstep by the aliens became a human advantage. Elena observed the results with quiet satisfaction. They are panicking. They are dividing their forces. Every mistake they make strengthens us. But we are not done. The counterattack is only beginning. In deep space, alien fleets scrambled, trying to regain control. Ships collided due to miscommunication. Supply lines broke. Patrols reported phantom attacks and sensor failures. The humans had turned confusion into a weapon more effective than any fleet or weapon system. Zarek, desperate, called the council for reinforcements. They are too clever. We cannot stop them. Every sector is compromised. I need backup. The council, still stunned by the casualty reports, debated. This cannot be happening, one counselor said. How can a single species cause such widespread disruption without fleets, without technology? They are not a single species, Silex replied. They are unpredictable, adaptable, and fearless. They fight differently, and that terrifies us. Elena's crew prepared for the next strike, knowing the aliens would attempt to regroup. Phase 2 begins soon, she said. We will escalate, but carefully. Show them that humans are not just clever. They are unstoppable when united, and when they realize it, it will be too late. Back on Earth, Humans gathered in the orbital station, reviewing the chaos they had caused. They did not celebrate. Victory was quiet, measured. But one thing was certain. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Humans were not weak. Humans were not small. Humans were a force that relied on strategy, courage, and unpredictability. And as Elena looked out at the stars, she whispered softly, almost to herself, "Tomorrow we take the final step, and they will finally understand what humans are capable of." The human counterattack had begun, not with overwhelming force, but with precision, intelligence, and timing. The galaxy had written them off. That mistake would be remembered. The first encounter had surprised them. The casualty reports had frightened them. Now, the counterattack was proving humans were something entirely different. The aliens had underestimated humans for the last time. The galaxy had never known fear like this. Reports flooded the council chamber in endless streams. Entire fleets had vanished or been delayed. Supply lines were crippled. Command structures faltered. And still, the humans were nowhere to be seen. Zalith, the silver-skinned chair of the council, stared at the glowing hollow screens, its 3 arms trembling with tension. This cannot be happening. How can a single species, the single planet, cause such devastation across multiple sectors? Silex, the young energy being aide, shook its form nervously. It is not sheer force, sir. They are cunning, precise. Their tactics, unpredictable. We cannot predict them. We cannot control them. Croth, the reptilian general, slammed its claws against the platform. I told you, we underestimated them. They are not weak. They are something else entirely, and it is too late to stop them. Meanwhile, in orbit above Earth, the humans watched with calm focus. Captain Elena Voss stood at the observation deck of the orbital station, her gaze fixed on distant alien fleets trying desperately to regroup. They had learned fear. They had learned caution. And the humans were about to ensure that lesson would never be forgotten. Elena, Lieutenant Marichin said, "The alien fleets are reorganizing. They're trying to send reinforcements." Elena nodded. "Good. Let them organize. Every move they make now is predictable. Every mistake they make now is our advantage. Prepare Phase 3. This is where they realize humans are not what they thought." Phase 3 was bold. Humans would strike at key command hubs across multiple sectors simultaneously, not for destruction, but for revelation. Aliens would finally see what humans could do when underestimated, when written off, when ignored. On a remote asteroid near a vital communication relay, human strike teams prepared. Mara's team infiltrated the facility, bypassing security with a combination of stealth, technology, and quick thinking. Every sensor they passed was disabled, every guard misled, every camera looped with false images. Meanwhile, small human fleets moved silently through asteroid fields, invisible to alien sensors. Their ships were not large, not numerous, but they were clever. They struck precisely, exploiting every weakness, turning every alien assumption against them. Commander Zarek, back in his flagship, was beginning to understand the depth of the human threat. Reports came in from every direction. Convoys disrupted, fleets delayed, command hubs disabled, sensors malfunctioning, ships disappearing. They are everywhere. Zarek shouted, his voice a mixture of fear and disbelief. How can one species strike in every sector at once? They must be everywhere. But the humans were not everywhere. They were just everywhere the aliens thought they were. Using deception, cunning, and the chaos they had already created, humans made themselves appear omnipresent. They had learned the greatest trick of all, controlling perception. In the council chamber, the hollow screens displayed incoming reports. Counselors whispered, eyes wide with fear. "It is impossible," one said. "How can they do this without fleets, without massive weapons?" "They are different," Silex replied softly. "They fight in ways we cannot understand. They think differently. They anticipate. They adapt. And that terrifies us." Back on Earth, Elena gave her orders. "This is it. Strike. Not to kill, not to conquer, but to reveal our strength. Let them understand the cost of underestimating humanity. Move fast. Move smart. Leave nothing obvious, but ensure they see the pattern. Human strike teams moved with precision. In one sector, a command hub suddenly failed, sending false orders across multiple fleets. In another, a key supply convoy vanished, leaving entire squadrons without resources. Alien ships misfired, collided, or retreated due to confusion. The alien commanders could not comprehend what was happening. Their technology had failed, their tactics were useless, and their assumptions were their undoing. The humans were teaching a lesson no one else could. Brains could beat brawn, strategy could outmatch force, courage could outshine arrogance. Zarek, furious, tried to rally his fleets. Focus fire, target the humans. They cannot be everywhere. But they were not everywhere. The humans had made them believe they were. False signals, clever decoys, and precise strikes made humans appear omnipotent. Every alien commander believed their enemy was far more numerous and far more dangerous than reality. On the orbital station, Elena watched the alien fleets crumble under their own assumptions. She did not smile. She did not gloat. She knew that the galaxy's arrogance had been their greatest weapon, and it had worked beautifully. Mara Chun reported from the field. Captain, all key points have been struck. The pattern is clear. They now know humans are not weak. They now fear us. Good, Elena said softly. But fear alone is not enough. Let them see the cost. Let them understand that underestimating humans is a fatal mistake. Prepare for extraction. We leave them with the message. The message was simple. Humans existed. Humans were unpredictable. Humans were dangerous. And the galaxy would never ignore them again. Back in the council chamber, panic had reached a peak. Zalatha's voice shook. This species, they are everywhere and yet we cannot find them. How can this be? Silex whispered. They are using their weakness as strength. They are small, underestimated, and invisible, yet they control the battlefield through intelligence and strategy. They are exceptional. Krotha's claws dug into the dais. We cannot fight them conventionally. We cannot predict them. They are rewriting the rules of war. They are rewriting the rules of survival. Far above Earth, the humans prepared to vanish. Strike teams pulled back, leaving only subtle signs of presence. Convoys returned to normal routes. Sensors began to function, and the galaxy slowly realized the true scale of what had occurred. Zarek's fleet regrouped, but the morale was broken. Reports of human actions had spread across sectors. Fleets doubted their technology. Commanders doubted their intelligence. Even the most confident alien species began to rethink their assumptions about humans. Elena addressed her crew one final time. Today, we have shown the galaxy that humans are not to be ignored. We have done more than survive. We have revealed that we are clever, adaptable, and fearless. The council wrote us off. The galaxy underestimated us. That mistake will never be repeated. Remember this day. Remember what humans can do when ignored. And remember, this is only the beginning. The humans retreated silently, leaving the galaxy to digest the full impact of their actions. Alien fleets and councils struggled to comprehend the scale of the humans' capability. They had not seen the full strength. They had not faced direct combat. But the message was clear. Humans were not weak. And somewhere in the shadows, Elena whispered to herself, the galaxy has written us off until now. Let them remember that name. Humanity. The revelation was complete. Humans were no longer dismissed, no longer ignored. Every alien commander who survived the encounter would carry the memory of this day. And every counselor who had laughed at humans would rethink their arrogance. The galaxy had learned a dangerous truth. Underestimating humanity was the greatest mistake any species could make. And in that moment, as the humans disappeared into the stars, the Council of Stars realized what the galaxy had already known. Humans were a force unlike any other. Small, underestimated, and invisible, yet clever, fearless, and unpredictable. The message echoed silently across the void. Humans existed. Humans mattered. Humans would not be ignored. The revelation was complete. The galaxy would never be the same.